Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for all these things. So today, I'm not my cap, EDF. You heard a lot of things about EDF, and it's clear that being in charge of R&D at EDF, we cover all the topics that are at stake today, long life extension. Today is starting the fourth 10-yearly outage in Tricastin. So it is going further 40 years in EDF France, and so, you know, we want to go to 60. And also, you know that we have a new build because we got a new reactor in China, in France, and in UK with the APR. But today, my purpose is to talk about Nugenia, because I have been appointed as chairman of Nugenia. I think it was 3 years ago. And for us, Nugenia is really key to promote the R&D, and as we can see here, to share between different, I would say, population, different actors of R&D, what is the benefit of the best for the future nuclear. So before going to the point, well, I would say that I'm really honored and pleased to start this technical session about safety, and I would like to thank the European Commission for the support they did for this conference, and also for the support they have proposed to Nugenia and to all the team contributing to this topic. Before going more in detail about my presentation, I would like to share three major convictions I have on the nuclear. And I think we talked about that this morning. The first one is that nuclear, the role of nuclear in the future for energy is really compulsory. It's really important to think about what is the nuclear in the future, because we have two legs now, one on renewable, one on nuclear, but we have to mix them together, and without nuclear, we cannot succeed to have a low-carbon energy in the future. And I think Mr. Collomb gave us a very positive way, saying that the civil view is fitting with this topic. So after, in the proceeding, it will be a bit more difficult, but I think it's a very positive understanding. This is my first conviction, and what I say in I think it's also all the members of Nugenia conviction that nuclear will play a big role in the future for low carbon energy. The second one is about R&D. R&D and innovation is building the future. So without any R&D, without any preparation of the future, what we are doing today is what will be done in the 10, 20, even 50 years to go. So it's really important to focus on R&D and innovation, because without that, we will just repeat what is done and reduce the efficiency, reduce the capability of our industry to answer to the challenges of the world that we have to face in the future. So my belief and the work we are doing is to promote this R&D, to make more contribution from the Commission. It has been said this morning by a lot of contributors that we need to have this common contribution and to work as a team, to share all this topic together. And the last one is about the skills and the competency, and also about the young generation, because we are building the future, but we will not be there for the future. So it's the young generation sitting at the back of the rows as this morning, and I'm really happy that the European Commission has enabled the one that we have awarded in Paris last April session to be and participate here in this FISA conference, because it gives them the vision of what it can be, a community of research entity and a community of people working on this topic. So I deeply think that this young generation have to be mixed, not by themselves, but mixed with all the population to create the future. So I will just have two parts on my presentation. The first is to give the major benefits that Nugenia brought to the R&D, and what is this Nugenia sharing and achieving. And in the second part, I will give some example of what can be the innovation, technical innovation, R&D innovation for the future, to give you more precise topic that you can understand on what topic we are working and what is the purpose of this activity. Of course, the main purpose is competitiveness, attractivity of the people, and also acceptability of the public, because nuclear is really needing to have a common view on all these topics, and R&D can support this, and this is a part of my speech. So to start this part, what is Nugenia? So it's as the same as our colleague said, Nugenia is working on generation 2 and 3. So it means that we are working on the existing fleet. It is important, as Mr. Monti said this morning, that we have to think that we have a very strong capacity of nuclear energy in Europe today, and mainly on Gen 2 and Gen 3, and we have to keep it and to show that we can have it in the best situation, and R&D can support this and even improve it. So Nugenia is an international non-profit association that has been created 7 years ago, and the objective was to have to build an integrated framework for safe, reliable, and competitiveness on technology on Gen 2 and Gen 3, gathering research activity, industry, academy, and safety organization. So it's really important to have these 4 pillars working together to build the project, and the aim of Nugenia is to share on project because we need to promote activity, actual activity, things that we can really measure and we can really see what are the results in our industry and what are the results in our research center. Talks is good, but works is showing that R&D is really using laboratories, people, skilledness, and it is the best thing. And I think the Commission appreciates that anytime we propose this kind of project, they can see that the result is answering the question and the topic they wish to do. Last point is to maintain and develop needed skills, because with this research, we are enabled to promote this activity and to gather other skills to share together. And the different forums that we organize is really the best time for people to work and to define the best solution together. So Nugenia, as you know, is one of the pillars of the sustainable nuclear energy technology platform, which is working on 3 pillars. The others is SNE and NC2I that my colleagues will come tomorrow to explain what they do. What is important is that we have now a clear view of what is the role of SNETP and Nugenia. I will say that in the last session of our General Assembly, we have decided to extend the legal statute of Nugenia to be used for SNETP. It means that we have now, I would say, a direct contact point to all the stakeholders, and showing that Nugenia can have a better promotion, a better view, and a better understanding of what is done with this integrated inside SNETP as a legal entity. I will come back to this, and it has been achieved with my friend Hamid to have the best representation and also to enable SNETP to have a legal entity as Nugenia had before. So going to this activity, it's much important to see that Nugenia was started to show that R&D can be strong in Europe on nuclear. You know that in US, in China, in Russia, there is a lot of common organization, and Nugenia aim is to show that we can have a strong organization on R&D, and it has been quickly, thanks to a lot of activity of people here in the room, increased, because when you look at the number of members, more than 103 members today are members of Nugenia. So you cannot read all the figures, but you must reckon all, some of big industry, big research center, a big academy and safety organization, and we've got 8 honorary members out of 24 countries. When I talk about countries, it is important to see that we are not only a European organization. We have extended the links with international organization, COG for Canada, EPRI, and also the different commission, and also we have RSN. So we have the capability of gathering all the strength of R&D in Europe, of course, but also across the world. So for what? What are doing all these members? What are they working for? it's clear that we have defined together a roadmap which define clearly where we want to work, what we want to prove, what we want to address, and what kind of topic. You see here, it's all the different technical area we are organized, because Nugenia has organized clearly its organization through this 8 technical area. And what is important is the expectation on all this area. When you take about, the first one is about safety, plant safety and severe accident, you see that the objective is to raise public awareness on nuclear R&D. It's just to support and to see that R&D is something that showing nuclear is living, is something which promoting the nuclear activity. And after, what is important also is to see that Nugenia is working on the existing plant and showing that we can improve, we can address benefit, and we can improve the competitiveness, the efficiency through all the plant operation. A lot of projects are supporting the technical excellence for this operation activity. Integrity of system, structure and component was helped for the life extension to understand what are the different defect modes. And fuel development, waste spent fuel management and decommissioning also is in the process of the nuclear energy. And finally, we are working on innovative new reactor. We are talking a lot about SMR. We are talking a lot about a new reactor. It is important that our projects are supporting this kind of idea, and I will show some example on this after. And so what is important is that this R&D is supporting the existing plant, showing that we can innovate on the existing plant and prepare with that the next generation, the future, thanks to the results that we have obtained in the past. I will go quick on this, but it is important to say that the projects that Nugenia has contributed are your project, the project that has been built together with a strong organization, and Nugenia has defined an open innovation platform which enable each of the participants to put idea, to put project, to define, I've got a problem, I want to work with somebody on this topic, and I would like to have a consortium, an organization to solve this problem. And this is an open, bottom-up approach, which is very beneficial because you are small, you are big, you have an idea, you have a solution, you have a proposal, you can go to the platform and ask to have a contribution for the participant. And 63 projects have been today labeled by the Commission, because the Commission finds through Nugenia a good way of the quality of the project. It is important that our quality is seen as very important for the Commission, and so that when they put some money, they want to have the understanding of what is the result and whether it is of quality. Coming back maybe to what I said at the beginning, what is the key expectation of Nugenia? It's to become a reference association able to structure the R&D of the European level, integrating private and public effort, and initiate international collaboration, creating added value in its activity. All these words are important because it shows that we have an ambition which is strong, even if it is covered through projects which are very defined and very specific. It's clear that we never have to forget that this is our ambition, to show how strong is our community and how to communicate this to the Commission and to the stakeholder to show that we have a good project to propose and we expect financing for them. And when we start a project which is called Nugenia Plus, I think it will be discussed later, we saw that it was a very good way of including additional partner and showing that the results were at the end of the project to build this community. Well, just a list of portfolio. I will not describe all this. I just want on this one to give you the name of the leaders. Leaders are SCKCN, KIT, UGV, IRSN, CEA, EDF, VTT, Wood, CIEMAT. So you see, what is important is that there is a balance of responsibility between the association. There's not big, not small. Everybody can be leading a project, and doing that, it builds a community that is working in a very, I would say, a fair situation and very positive and active situation. So it was a former project. 18 projects are ongoing, and 13 are running from 2016. Today, from new one have been started, 5 have been started this year, in 2019, so it seems that the process is ongoing. And when you look at the topic they are covering, they talk about reduction of radiological, they talk about severe accident, they talk about the decommissioning and small modular reactor. It calls you that it is a priority that we are working on, and I understood that it was also the priority of the Commission, decommissioning, small modular reactor, and also reduction of radiologic severe accident. It's really fitting with the need, and so that is something that we expect, and this contribution, it is important for everybody. The last nature of portfolio is the one that we do by ourselves. I mean, it's in-kind contribution. When 2, 3, 4 association or entity want to work on a project, they put the resources they got in their company and they work together. And so it is really open the situation to show that the business is going well together and they can build topics that they really wish to do, even without any financing external. But it's something that is really appreciated by some experts to have this kind of possibility. And as a summary about the portfolio, the portfolio of Nugenia, I've just figured here the global amount of projects that was covered by Nugenia. It's more than above 120 million euros altogether. And what is important, it has 2,500 European experts have been working on this project, which represents 70% of the members have participated at least at one project. And I think it is really important. When you got an association, you don't just sign to go to the General Assembly, but your people are working actually on the topic. And it is really the efficiency of this association is to promote the achievement of quality project. And we are in the governing activity promoting that very much. Nugenia is not working by itself. We have a lot of contribution through different associations. We have signed some memorandum of understanding with EIA. We have met the Ministry of Economy and Affairs and Employment in Finland 2 years ago. We have the European Radiation Platform, Protection Research Platform, with a lot of participants. We've signed an agreement together. So it is important to show that we have this knowledge by our peers to be important as a partner in their different activity. And what is the most important is all the events that Nugenia is promoting. First, of course, is to support their members. And every year, there are specific activity done at the members. We've seen it Spain, Czech Republic, UK, France, Finland, Hungary. The leading team of Nugenia is going to visit these members and also to see what are their expectations, what are their main studies, what do they want to change. And so it gives us a clear view of how to prepare the future and what will be the topic they want to address together. And last forum, each year Nugenia organizes a forum and with different organization in Budapest in 2012, 13, Madrid, Ljubljana, and the last one in Prague in 2018, and the last one was in Paris, which gathered more than 300 people and talking about all the topics that are listed here, accident tolerant fuel, hazard environment, digital transition, because we are at the top of the innovation on our topics, and decommissioning, innovation, as I said, about the flexibility and the SMR. And what is important is that this forum enables people to define common projects and to build consortia. Because you can understand what is done aside, but what is good is the side discussion, the side meeting during this forum, which enable people to work together to define the consortium and after to build this project together to go to the Commission. And I think it is one of the strengths that Nugenia also has done. And I would like to thank also the European Commission for having promoted the young generation, because at that time we got an award, and all the people addressing this award have been invited to participate to this FISA conference, and I've seen some of them here in the room, and so it means that it was a good way of promoting the young generation coming here for supporting this nuclear activity. So this was my long part about giving you the view of what is doing Nugenia, what is the benefit, how we think about the future, what are we working on, and it's important to give you this organization because it's answer to the work that is done by the people here and otherwise to show that as chairman of Nugenia, it's not me who's doing that, it's all the community of research, and it is important to give back this result. I just want to give you now a few topics that we believe is really important for the innovation in the future, and that has been already started to show that we are on this project not only names, but working on new technology and new innovation. And what is important is if we talk about nuclear industry innovation, we need to be more competitive and more attractive. I think there's no question about this. It's not to be new technology. The problem is to answer to the needs of the people, and so to deliver industry which is competitive and also which is accepted by everybody. For doing that, we have defined a process to be working on specific topic and not to have a very long R&D topic because we want to address results and we want to have clear answer to some topics, so we call it bricks, technological bricks. And also we want to show that through these bricks we can attract young generation, we can answer to the question people can ask us about the benefit of this R&D. So it is a very well leveraged, a good leverage for helping the knowledge of nuclear in the future. And to go to some example, I've just recorded 3 or 4 examples. The first one on safety. What are we doing on safety? Well, safety is really important. You know that the fuel is a key element on the safety. And when we talk about enhanced accident-tolerant fuel, we try to reduce the risk of melting the roads, of extending the temperature higher, and also thinking about new generation of carbide silice, release of silice and SIC process, which help us to prepare the next generation of fuel. Second is about seismic. Well, everybody knows that after Fukushima, every reactor has applied seismic new codes and new conditions. So it's really important to be the more precise and to have the best way of evaluating the seismic history in the place you built your plant, and also to check all the equipment. And the last one about passive is important because about safety with SMR, with new technology, passive is becoming something which the safety authority wants us to show, to have less intervention on the reactor and to be more safe in case of event. I've taken time to explain this safety. I will go quicker on the next one. It's about new fabrication and repair solution, so to show that we are working also on innovation for existing fleet, because when you talk about isopatric pressure manufacturing, you can release a lot of welding, you can go quicker, you can do specific pieces as it is done in the air activity. And also you can talk about polymer for doing new coating of equipment. The last is to reduce the time of project. We can use also new technology for building nuclear plants with civil work activity, and here it's steel concrete panel, which is well known in some activity, and we have to try to have it accepted by the safety authority, because it's always a long trip to get to the agreement of the safety authority to use these kind of things. But R&D is here to show the path. The last example is about the digital. So when I saw the curve that our colleagues showed, the young colleague showed this morning, the digital twin were at the top. It means that it is something that is not yet totally clear. Well, we are working on it. How we can figure a digital twin to prepare. Here we've done that on a reactor building, because here it's just a mock-up of, it's just a picture of, very detailed picture of a 1300 megawatt reactor, which enable us with less than 1 centimeter precision to prepare outage, to prepare intervention. So it's really important to see that it is helping directly the operators, but there is a lot of R&D in it, because you can think that having the pictures, the drawing, the text, and everything together on the computer is not something easy. We have also predictive maintenance on data analytics, so it is artificial intelligence to prepare and the prognostic of how things will get older. And what I said, all the digital twin that we have listed in this kind of equipment, so we can go from the big reactor altogether, but we can go also some equipment or some system or some incident. So we have different scale of digital twin, which can enable us to have a quick answer and a quick preparation. It can be used also for the design of new reactor and to test different configuration. So here are some example of what can do R&D on existing fleet and Gen 2, Gen 3 fleet. Just to conclude, I would like that we recall what has Nugenia achieved. I would say the first is really the strong involvement of utilities, vendors, suppliers, safety, and R&D, which is the key result of what is doing Nugenia. The second is that we can contribute to prepare annual work plan, setting priority, and involving public authority and private organization, which give the guidance for the future. We have to let the members to give their ideas, to have this open innovation process is really important to share and to have a good balance of contribution. And of course, we need to have this international counterpart on cross-cutting issue, which is really something, training is one of them, which is important for the future. But still, we have got a lot of things to do. And that's why this kind of conference is really helpful, because it is part of the development of our activity. And of course, we need to prepare the next generation of researchers to show them that there is something which make eyes clear and expectation to work on topic, as I explained before, digital, new fabrication, which gives young people a goodwill of doing and proposing things. But also, we need also to promote this public-private and public-public partnership, because we cannot work together. We cannot work by ourselves. We need to work together. And work, of course, with Horizon Plan and set plan, Horizon Europe and set plan to promote the support of the European Commission on this topic. And all what is done on innovation will be a good thing. So development of mutual understanding through public engagement. Also, we have a lot of communication through Nugenia, and we expect that this is also something that gives people confidence about what is done on nuclear. Nuclear is an industry which is innovating. Somebody said it's not innovating, but I still promote that it is innovating, and I think I've shown you some example. And we can believe that the future is being written now will be helpful. And the new configuration of the SNTP platform will reinforce the role of Nugenia towards their stakeholders and also towards the support of the European Commission, because it will give a direct contact with all the different pillars through the SNETP platform with this new legal entity. So I thank you for your attention.
If there are questions from... There any question?
Like Paretos that asking authorities to accept SAT so that they can stop having high-grade plants or that kind of things to make economies.
Well, it's a good point. You know that the situation is different in Europe than in US, and the passive acceptability system with our safety authority cannot be supporting all the safety activities. They always want to have sometimes non-passive and passive. So we have to be clear about what is the benefit of the passive when we need to put it. We have passive already. We've got the containment. Containment is passive. So we have already support this and have it accepted. But we must also prove that through SMR, when the power is lower, we can also rely only on passive activity. We have SMR that can be operated without no acting during 7 days. So it's amazing. Our actual reactor are not doing that. You have a problem, you wait 7 days, there's nothing happening to avoid, to monitor, and you can come after. So it's through passive activity, mainly water, because the cooling is the most important. But still, helping R&D, showing the benefit of passive, showing the probability activity, it can help safety authority to accept this kind of topic, and after to reduce. We are less ambitious than US people. When they think about ATFs, they want to cancel a lot of things because they will know, think about the melting of the core. In my country, it will not be possible, it's clear. But it's something that can help us and also improve our knowledge about safety, because it's really important to see how we can manage an accident or can manage a situation.
Thank you. Another question? Okay, please.
So thank you. Just a question about the support or the evaluation of proposals by Nugenia for the Horizon 2020 calls. Do you have any plan now that also Marie Curie actions are going to be open again to nuclear, to kind of evaluate and support also this kind of proposal, or just stay to the big ones, let's say, to the big calls? I don't know if
maybe I'm not sure the question. You ask the way we are promoting projects to the European Commission. Can you please recall your question? Maybe somebody has understood clearly, but
maybe I misunderstood. But is Nugenia evaluating the proposal are made? Can evaluate the proposal are made for the Horizon 2020 calls? Is that well understood?
Well, there is two ways of acting. The first way is to think, I would say, from the white page, and to say, well, what are our priority? What is expected by the R&D community? What is the things that we wish to promote? And so we have discussion with the European Commission to provide this document and to help the state member to accept this kind of document. This is the first point. So it's I would say a clear roadmap and things that we can show. It's saying, okay, we would accept maybe a good project on this, and they can help the Commission to define by itself after whether it's fitting with this. And the second point is when they've got a project, when they've got a request for a project, we at Nugenia collect the people interested in this project, do a proposal, and when we said, okay, we think the proposal that is done by the community is really acceptable by Nugenia, we say it to the Commission. And I said, okay, well, when it is accepted by Nugenia, it means that it has a certain quality. It does not say that it will be accepted, but it gives a very good label, because there is project label by Nugenia, which help the Commission to say, okay, well, good job. We will take it into account, but after we are no hacked, of course, but we can see that project that has been labeled by Nugenia have a better chance to be accepted than others.
Thank you.
Roger, you agree with what I said? Yes, thank you to compliment, because...
Yeah, concerning this, so the work I think that is provided through the platform is very valuable, because it reflects reflection between the community, industry, R&D activities taking place. You establish priorities and you have some sort of selection process. Doesn't mean that it will be funded after when the evaluation takes place at the Commission using independent experts. Concerning the Marie Curie, I think you were mixing things. So first, Marie Curie actions will be, and I think they will be there for the next framework program. And this is an independent process, so it would be done by experts through its own call. I don't know if it would be within our call as such or within a Marie Curie call. I think my only recommendation is today, because it is new action, not only for projects, but for researchers, PhD opportunities, etc. Today is the time to insist on the need to fund as many as possible, to have I think that the needs are there. We need to support these PhDs at member state level. So just as a recommendation, I would say this will take place for sure. Now we don't know exactly how on the process, but we should insist through the member states, through the organizations, to come today with some figures or some clear ideas on the numbers that should be provided to help the community. So for me, to be valuable, it shouldn't be 10 Marie Curie every year, and then for the next 7 years, do we achieve more than what we did finally by supporting a PhD for a project? I don't think it will be really an added value. Instead, if the member states or the industry come and say, look, this is a valuable instrument, it would be nice to have 100 a year, and let's say 500 in 5 years, I think the numbers is already becoming more important. Because the financial decisions will be taken over the next few months, it is the time to insist on this instrument should be available, and then try to bring some numbers, some key figures in support to the process that is taking place through the platform.
Thank you, Roger. It's really showing the good collaboration we get together. Thank you for saying that.
I have a last question. Do you see an impact of eco-design over the nuclear industry? Eco-design directive?
No, I'm not familiar with this.
Because it's a matter of concern in Foratom. We have a dedicated task force on the eco-design directive impact over the industry, especially.
Yeah,
you have to do replacement, and you have to instead to go to the traditional suppliers. We have to redesign, and that is okay. So
No, but it's clear that anything we are doing, we try to do it better with new situation, new solution. When we did a lot of new activity through Fukushima, post-activity, we try to use the best situation, not to repeat what was done 30 years ago or 30 years ago. So, and to be more in this echo. I don't know whether it is really fitting with the question you asked.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please.
Just quickly. Okay, quick question. You were talking about the research priorities, and I remember that you have been updating these research priorities. Just a question, is it already published, or what is
well, the roadmap is not, you know, we had the merge between SNETP and NUGENIA, which took a lot of activity, so we were working on this. Well, I would say, following Abdu, it should be done by September normally. We expect to. Well, but now we are in the process of transition. But it has been really ready to be published. But because of the General Assembly that we held 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's not been printed. But we've got a budget to do that. So it will be done this year, I hope.